So this is Lamebot. This is a webinar on how to create a bot, how to get subscribers for WhatsApp, and how to launch a campaign. So pretty self-explanatory. You already know about the hosts, Jiaqi and me. And on the first part of this webinar, we'll be creating a WhatsApp playground. This is a highly anticipated feature. We shared with you guys last week. We made it available for every single user. You don't even need a paid account for that. You can just go and create a WhatsApp playground. So we'll explain to you how you can create yours, how you can build a chatbot for it, and much more. On the second part of the webinar, we'll show you how to get subscribers for WhatsApp. So there's a specific process for this. We'll explain what a subscriber is, which are the conditions for anyone to become a subscriber, and how is it possible to do all that using Lamebot. And finally, we'll create and launch a WhatsApp campaign. So we get this campaign feature that allows you to send proactive messages to your subscribers. So we're just going to close the circle with that, and you'll see how easy it is to reach out to your audience with a crazy open and reply rate, thanks to the power of WhatsApp. So let's start from the beginning. So the WhatsApp playground. I'm going to jump into one of our main accounts here. Hope everybody can see everything clearly. So you've noticed there's a new button here. It's called channels. It's a new section. So it's a WhatsApp icon. And if you click there, most of you will only see WhatsApp playground. If you're already a business customer, you also see this WhatsApp business section. So WhatsApp playground is what we explained to you last week. So it gives you the possibility to test the WhatsApp integration as if you were the final user. So let me explain you really quick how to create a new WhatsApp playground. So we need to click here on the top right, create a new channel. It's important to say that there's a limit of 10 WhatsApp playgrounds per account. We got 9. Luckily. So the first thing you want to do is you want to customize your channel name. I'm going to call it Trial Cris Webinar. And here you need to add the tester's number. And what's the tester's number? It's your own phone number, because what a WhatsApp playground does is it opens up a communication channel between you and our playground number. So you can test it, you can configure your bot, you can talk to it, but it's limited in other features, like you cannot share that number. If someone sends a message to that number and it's not part of a playground, it's not going to work. You won't be able to send proactive messages, but it's the best option if you want to really feel like what the official API looks like. So let me enter my phone here. It's 34. I got some rules here. If you create yours, I recommend you to read it. It's basically what I've just told you. I accept the terms of use, and I keep on typing in my phone number. All right, and I just click.
Just realize you just share your phone number with the entire internet.
I mean, with the entire internet. That's like a big, we keep it real. And at the end of the day, every single email I send contains my phone number. I just hope I don't receive like a million phone calls now. All right, so yes, stop taking screenshots, please. So I wanna go back to Zoom if it's possible, and share my camera, because I've actually just received a WhatsApp notification, but you'll see it firsthand. So I think there's no need for that. But the cool thing about creating a WhatsApp playground is that you don't even need to save a phone number. You will receive an automatic notification from us, and you can just reply to that notification, and the default chatbot will be triggered. And which chatbot is that? So here in this part, automate your conversation. So you can configure which bot you want to be linked. You want to have linked to your playground account. So I'll go for, I think it's Cris actually. Yeah, I'm gonna go for demo Cris. Lamebot, save changes, and I'm good to go. So as easy as that. If I want to configure this bot, demo Cris WhatsApp, I just need to go to my dashboard and look for that bot. I don't know if that's the one. Yeah, that's it. So if you create your very first playground, this is what you see. So you can obviously configure everything here. You can just start selecting blocks and delete them and make your own version of the WhatsApp section of the WhatsApp playground. But it's interesting if it's your first time using a WhatsApp chatbot, to take a look at the flow, to see how things are built, how connections are made. It looks like a mess, but it's not. It's pretty intuitive, just a couple of menus and then a look to start over the conversation. But again, you can just start deleting blocks and create your own flow in minutes. And the best part is you can test it on your own phone. So if you're building a prototype, if you're making a decision on whether the API is for you or not, if you want to share a chatbot with one of your customers, or what it would feel like a project with the WhatsApp API, this is a great option. This is probably the best option out there. So, all right, now we know how to create a WhatsApp playground. Let's get to the second part, which I think is probably the most interesting one, which is getting subscribers. So let me explain to you how the subscriber concept works. So imagine you have a WhatsApp phone number and you make it available for every visitor on your website. So if you put your phone number there, obviously anyone can send you a message and they can start talking, whether to your chatbots or to your human agents. But if you want to send a proactive message to those users, you need them to become subscribers. That's the main rule. So you definitely cannot just, hey, let's import 5 million phone numbers and send them a message. That's not possible. They need to become subscribers first, which means that they need to give you their explicit consent to receive WhatsApp notifications. There are a couple of rules we need to make sure we match when we are getting subscribers, and we'll explain it to you in just a moment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bot from scratch, because rule number one, if you want to get subscribers, this needs to happen on a third-party channel. So you cannot get WhatsApp subscribers through WhatsApp. It needs to happen anywhere else. It can happen on a lane bot, on a forum, with the snippet we provide. There are different options to get subscribers. And first, let me show to you the tool we provide for you to add to your website and get subscribers with no effort. So if we go to WhatsApp Business, this is our main official channel, WhatsApp Sales. If you come to the Get Subscribers section, you'll see that there are a bunch of snippets here. You can create a new one. And these snippets allow you to embed some modal in your website to get subscribers. Let me show you what it looks like. So webinar test. One interesting thing about getting subscribers is that as soon as they become a subscriber, you can decide whether you want to send a automatic message or not. So if you want to send it, you need to click here, select one of your templates, like, I don't know, let's, welcome, looks like a good template. And it has a couple of variables. So the good thing about templates is that these are highly structured messages we can send proactively to our users, and they can contain both texts and variables. So here, for example, I'm picking this template, which has already been approved by WhatsApp, and I can say hi variable. So let's say, I don't know, hi there. Welcome to, let's say, Lambot on WhatsApp. So here I'm assigning values, but I could definitely, instead of values, I could add variables. So if I got the name of my subscribers, I could definitely go for hi name. But in this case, I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm just going to add these placeholders right here. So I'll select this one. So this is the first thing we need to select. If we want to get subscribers, the first decision we need to make is, do we want to send an automatic message as soon as they become subscribers? That's number one. And number two is, which bot do we want to trigger if they reply to that template? So the process is as follows. They leave the phone number, they receive a notification, and when they reply, the bot that's linked, it's going to be triggered. Obviously, you can say, no, I don't want any auto message, or I don't want any bot. I just want to get the subscriber, and that's perfectly fine. But it's always great to have the opportunity to create different snippets with different proactive messages and link to different bots depending on your use case, if you're using it on a landing page, etc.
Yeah, maybe just share a few cases here. In our case, for example, we have a demo bot on one of our landing pages. So what happens when people just try to sign up is we immediately send them a message, and then they could start seeing the flow of the demo they choose. Another example is for blog subscribers, so we can put the subscription codes on our blog, and then once people want to subscribe, they could even subscribe to our WhatsApp. So there are a few ways you could get users using that.
Exactly. And you might think that this is all like well, not very clear, but if I click here, you'll understand perfectly what this snippet is all about. So we've basically configured this text. I give my consent to receive WhatsApp notifications by Lambot, which needs to be actively checked by our customer. And here we can just add our phone number, like if it was the the playground we've just seen. Then they click on subscribe and they'll become your subscribers. If you've configured an auto message, as soon as they become a subscriber, they'll receive that template. If you've configured a bot, if they reply to that template, the bot will be triggered. So you can create as many snippets as you need. Again, you can configure which template you want to send to which users, or the bot you want to link to the interaction. So it's simple as that. You can just copy this snippet, paste it anywhere, and you can get subscribers on autopilot. So it's a great source for subscribers if you just put it on your homepage or anywhere else. But now we'll cover the second way of getting subscribers, and that's obviously using Lambot. So all we need to do is create a Lambot that asks for minimum the phone number. We obviously always need the phone number in order to get a subscriber. But the great part about using Lambot is that you can not only ask for the phone number, you can ask for more data. And that data is going to help you segment your user base. It's going to help you customize the messages you send. It's going to help you customize their experience when talking to the chatbots. So it's way more flexible, yet pretty easy to configure. So let me show you. I'm going to say changes here. Now I'm going to create an opt-in bot from scratch, and you'll see it takes 5 minutes. So I click here to create a new bot. I'm going to change its name. It's going to be opt-in test. And let's start. So hi there, I'm Lambot. Hi, perfect. So the first thing we need to ask is for the consent. This is very important. So same way the snippet did, like I give my consent to receive WhatsApp notification. This is what we want to do here in the Lambot. So we'll go for a yes/no question, and the text will be something like that, like do you give us your consent to receive WhatsApp notifications from Lambot? Then yes, no, say. If they say no, we obviously cannot opt these users in. They won't become subscribers. So we can just say a thank you message or something like that. It's okay. But if they say yes, here, then we can start asking for data for them to become subscribers, but with more information about who they are. So yes, the first thing, most important, is we need the phone number. This phone number needs to include the country code. This is very important too. So we got the variable phone, we're storing it right there. And then we want to ask something else like, I don't know, what's your name, for instance? So we can customize those proactive messages. What's your name? Great. And then we're gonna ask for, I don't know, address, like where are you from? What's your country? So we can use it also to segment.
Maybe just a little clarification also for those that is seeing our platform for the first time. So here we are at the workflow builder, where we practically enable any person to create and iterate their bot without having to code anything, right? So the way how our builder works is essentially each block represents an action that the bot will perform. It can depend, depending on what type of blocks you do, it can be explicit action, which is something that you will show to the user, or an implicit action, which is something that will work internally. So Cris is basically showing you how to define all the action, all the interaction you need to have in order to get the opt-in permission from the user. But then later you can use our bot builder for so many more things. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. Like I took for granted that everyone here knew our chatbot builder, but the reality is that some of you might not. Let's click on preview so you understand what this flow is about. So if we click on preview, you will see how intuitive it is. Hi there, I'm Lambot. We click on the button, we start a conversation. Do you give us your consent to receive WhatsApp notifications from Lambot? You say yes. And here are the questions we've just configured, like what's your phone number? This phone number. We'll show you how to validate phone numbers in a minute. What's your name? Chris. What's your country? Spain. So as simple as that. So it obviously ends here, but we'll keep on configuring it to make sure we can get these subscribers. So we got all the information we need. So we got the consent, we got the phone number, which are the minimum, and then we got also the name and the address. So what we want to do now is we want to configure a webhook. A webhook is basically a HTTP request we can make to any endpoint. And which endpoint are we going to use? We're going to use the endpoint to get subscribers, the one that WhatsApp provides. So first, I need to get the endpoint. So let me delete this blog. I'm going to save, and I'm going to show to you where you can get that URL you need to send the information to in order for a user to become a subscriber. So if sorry about that. If I go to channels again, let me see if it's here. If I go to channels, and I go to WhatsApp business, and I go to our official phone number, and I go to get subscribers. These are all the snippets we've configured. Remember, we've just done that. And what we need to do here is we need to copy this URL. You see that there's a value here, URL. So we basically need to copy that. So we are going to copy that, and we're going to go back to the builder. So here we are, asking for the phone, name, and address. And now we want to send all that information for the user to become a subscriber. So we connect this with this webhook. I click on the block and I start configuring it. You might think this is slightly technical. It actually is, but the reality is that first, there's a lot of documentation on how to configure a webhook. And second, I'm not technical myself, and you'll see that it's pretty easy and intuitive. So I just paste here the URL. So this URL contains a unique code, which is telling Lambot, all right, this is the exact snippet for the exact phone number you want to get the subscriber for. So what we need to do here at the end of the URL is just add the different variables we were asking for throughout the flow. We can also do it here using the send params. We can also, customize headers, the body, but I'm just going to go for the easy way, and I'm just going to add them to the URL. So I need a question mark here, and just keep adding the different variables I want to send. So mandatory phone number. With no phone number, we cannot get subscribers. We cannot complete the opt-in process. Phone number equals phone, and name equals name, and finally, country equals country. So I click on save, and if this webhook is correctly triggered, it's going to follow the green path. And I'm just going to say, thank you. You've just become a subscriber. And if something goes wrong, let's launch a message to something went wrong, try again later. So if we click here on save, you'll see that the flow is pretty much what we've already seen, but with the thank you message. And every single person that completes these flows successfully, giving us their consent and providing the different data, are going to become subscribers. And they will show up in your subscriber list, which we'll show you in a minute. So again, phone number. There's no validation here, but don't worry guys, there's a way to validate it. So Chris, what's your country? Spain. Thank you. You've just become a subscriber. Where are all of our subscribers? Well, all of our subscribers are in the channel section. We need to go to our official channel. Please keep in mind that Playground, WhatsApp Playground doesn't support subscribers, so it's not possible to get subscribers or send proactive messages using WhatsApp Business. WhatsApp Playground. So we go to our official phone number. We come here to campaigns. And when we are about to configure a new campaign, we'll show it to you in detail in just a minute. Here's our subscriber list. And here's where we want to check whether a user has given us their consent and became a subscriber or not. This is a place where they'll show up. So what you have to do is going back to the dashboard. So we got our recently created opt-in bot. We just need to open it, go to the share section, and we can do two things here. We can embed it into our website. We can just select the format, full page pop-up, embed or live chat. You already know those. Copy the snippet and paste it into your website, or you can share the URL. You can copy it and just share the URL. Every single land bot you create is automatically hosted in one of our URLs, but you can definitely customize it by embedding it under your own domain. So as simple as that. So we already got a subscriber machine. So it's based on Lambot. The best part is that, again, it's not only the phone number, the information we got from the users, but also some other relevant data that's going to help us segment the communications and customize the messaging. So what I want to do right now is I want to share with you an URL we've prepared with an opt-in. So it's basically the same thing we've just seen, but a bit more complex because it contains that phone validator. So let me show it to you. You'll see it's the same structure. Here it is, opt-in bot for the WhatsApp webinar. And this is basically the same thing. So we're asking for the explicit consent here, but we're following exactly WhatsApp rules, which means that we need to show their logo. We need to do a couple of things to make sure that the opt-in process is done correctly. Then we ask for this consent, and we got this great break. So if you're already using Lambot 3, you know that there are breaks available. You just need to click here and look for breaks. And here you can select among many pre-built breaks. And we got the phone validator, which is this one, phone country validator. And I think it's probably one of the most useful breaks we have, and you'll test it in just a minute. So we ask for the phone number, but we also validate it. And that's pretty much it. We just create an extra variable here with the set variable block. That's going to tell us the source for that subscriber. And this is very important. In our case, we know exactly where each subscriber is coming from. So if they're coming from a landing page we got for the Brazilian market, we're gonna know that because we got these variables. If it's someone from other country, from other action or whatever, we can use the set variable. So all these variables are gonna be sent through in the opt-in process. And when we get the subscriber list, we can apply filters and just reach out to the users we want to reach. So again, this is basically the same thing we've just built, but with the phone validator. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna share with you the URL. You need to talk to the chatbot. If you want to become a subscriber, you can complete the flow, and it's gonna be interesting because we'll show to you how to create a campaign. Hopefully, if you become a subscriber, you're gonna receive that campaign and test firsthand what a subscriber feels like. So this is the URL I want you to visit. I'm gonna share it on the chat section. There you go. I've shared it on the chat section. I see that some of you are asking questions on the chat section. Please keep in mind that we won't be answering questions from the chat section. We'll only answer questions from the Q&A section because otherwise it's a mess. It's pretty much impossible to manage. So hopefully you're starting to talk to these Lambot. I'm gonna do it. Hi there, I'm Cris from Lambot. How are you? Great. WhatsApp logo, very important. We need to use the official WhatsApp logo. You can discover all the official logos under whatsappbrand.com. Do you give us Lambot your explicit consent? This is really important. Your explicit consent to receive WhatsApp notifications with relevant information. Hell yeah. And then we're gonna be asked by our country code first. Spain, our phone number, again, exposing myself every time. And yeah, and that was it. Simple as that. So the webhook was triggered. I just become a subscriber. I already was a subscriber, but it doesn't really matter. This is also very interesting. So you can obtain the same phone number more than once if you're going to add more variables to it. So maybe the first time you get a subscriber, you only got their phone number, but maybe they go through the same process again in other landing page you have where you ask for more information. Don't worry about that. We'll match the subscriber and we'll just add the extra variables or the extra data you collected from him.
Also, maybe sharing a few examples of how businesses have been using the opt-in snippet. So we have seen many e-commerce companies, they are doing it in the checkout process, where once they have users coming and filling out the checkout info, they could put the snippet there, and usually they are asking the phone number. So once you got the phone number, you could also ask the user, hey, do you want to receive the notification via WhatsApp? And then that later on will become your subscriber on WhatsApp. Many airlines are also starting to use this, for example, to share the check-in and the boarding pass. So this is something that you will start to see more and more frequently.
Exactly. So I'm going to check real quick if you're making it to start a conversation with these bots. So we're going to move on to the chat section. This is another one of the main sections here on Landbot, where you can see all the conversations that are taking place in your different channels. And the most interesting part is that you can just take part of those conversations and jump in as a human. So we can open any conversation around here, and we can just leave start sending a message to the user, and it's really powerful. So yeah, chat section, you may want to check it. Today is going to be all automated, but we'll probably do a webinar where we cover this hybrid approach of having a chatbot, but then having your human agents to jump into conversations, to close sales, to provide extra support, etc. So, well, hopefully some of you made it to complete the bot. So we're gonna check it out right now. And how are we gonna know if you completed the bot? Well, we got this variable that's source webinar. So we're gonna apply a filter, and we'll see if you've become a subscriber or not. So this means we're gonna enter in the third part of the webinar, which is creating and launching a WhatsApp campaign. So again, we need to go to the channel section. We need to go to the official WhatsApp business, because if you get a playground and if you go to your playground and you try to access the campaign section, it's going to tell you this is only available for official business accounts. And the same happens if you try to go to get subscribers. So these are not available on playground, just the chatbot and for you to test it. So we go to the WhatsApp business section, WhatsApp sales, our official phone number, and we go to campaigns. So we're going to create a new campaign here, and it's similar to creating a snippet. So the first thing we need is to create a campaign name, webinar campaign test, and here we're going to select the same two things. So first, which template, which automatic message do we want to send to our users? So here we're going to go for the welcome again. It's going to be hi there, welcome to Landbot. Click and select. This is the template I'm going to send to the subscribers, and then the bot I want to trigger. So in this case, we may want to trigger the sales bot, or because we haven't, we can go for the all right, yeah, it's it. Ila. So Ila is our customer experience designer. Some of you might know her already, and she probably creates the best posts around, so we better share hers. So link bot, we got the template, and we got the bot that's going to be triggered as soon as you reply to that template. And here's the interesting part: choose your audience. So let's see if some of you made it to become subscribers. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set a condition. We're going to apply a filter, and that filter is going to be based on these variable source. So let me find it real quick. So all the variables are here. You can see we got a bunch because we're doing tests constantly, and we got here source. So we don't really mind which source is, we just wanted to have a value. So source has value. Something's not contains webinar. That seems to be a problem with that filter. Contains webinar. All right. Awesome. We got 5 people. So you can see here campaign targeting, it's 5 users. We originally had about 2,000 subscribers on this account. And here we're applying a filter because we just want to reach out to the ones that just completed the opt-in process. So yeah, we can see some examples here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on confirm to confirm this target. And last but not least, I need to schedule the campaign so I can decide whether I want to start sending it now. So as soon as I create the campaign, it's going to be launched, or I can select a custom date and time based on your browser settings. So I'm going to just start sending it now. And let me check everything is all right. Webinar campaign test. There's a template, there's a bot, and there's a segment here. So I'm just going to click on create campaign. And once created, yeah, I'm just going to save the changes. All right, so back to campaigns, and we can see it here. So it's webinar campaign test. It has an audience of 4 people. And if we click there, we'll see the main metrics of this campaign. So the first metric we got is audience of 5 people. Those are the 5 subscribers we've seen, matching our segmentation. How many templates were sent? 3, which is 60%. Please keep in mind that if there are some reasons why template might not be sent, maybe that phone number is not correct. So there are some scenarios where you might see a different number between template sent and the size of the audience. Then we got delivered, which means that they finally got to the user's phone. And finally, we got replied, which means how many people actually replied to that message. So let me refresh to see if there's any reply. All right, hello. Yeah, I see one reply. I'm replying too. And everything seems to be working. So one thing I've noticed, and I forgot to tell you, and some of you might have experienced the same thing, is that the template I received was in Spanish. So this is important to mention. So every time you want to request a new template, that template, you can select whether you want it to be in just one language or you want it to be multi-language. If it's multi-language, and let's say you got the same template in English and Spanish, if you send it to a broad audience, and there are some people with the WhatsApp application in Spanish and some others with the WhatsApp application in English, it's going to adapt automatically. So obviously, if it's only in one language, everybody will receive the very same template. But if you got users from different countries and your templates are in different languages, it's gonna be customized to the user's language of their WhatsApp app. This is something important because if you're using values like I did, you'll notice that there might be a part in English. So I was using an English value, but I received a Spanish template. So you need to pay attention to that and really make sure that the audience you're targeting is the right one. Language or languages of your templates are right, and everything's working just as expected. So yeah, we see this sum up of metrics again. We see the template. We cannot make any changes to this campaign. We can definitely create a new one. If we would have set up a custom date, we can enter the campaign and make changes, but since we sent it straight away, we cannot. And this is basically it. So as easy as just selecting the name of the template, the message you want to send, the bot you want to link when they reply to the template, and finally the audience. And that's it. You just save changes, launch the campaign, and everybody will receive your message. And I think we got everything. So just to sum up what we've been covering on these webinars, we got WhatsApp Playground. Just click here if you want to create yours, add your own phone number, and start testing the official integration. If you want to get subscribers, you got 2 options. Well, you got more, but you got mainly 2 options. You can go to your official channel, click and get subscribers, get one of your snippets, and just paste the code into your website. And you can have something like this. They can just check and put on their phone numbers, or you can definitely create a bot. If you want to create a bot for getting subscribers, you need to copy this URL, which is the most important because you want to make a request to that URL. So we go back to the dashboard, and this is the opt-in bot where we ask for their consent, their phone number, and then we're sending all these variables using our webhook phone and source webinar for us to know that you come from the webinar. And last but not least, if you want to create a campaign, you want to go to the channel section again, what's up business, because campaigns are not available on Playground. You click on your channel, move on to campaigns, and click on new campaign. Here you just need to select the template, the bot, the audience, and launch it. Pretty simple, straightforward, but again, super powerful. I can imagine that most of you are already thinking about different use cases for your own business, and yeah, the possibilities are endless. So yeah, really hope you enjoy this presentation.